Welcome back to my channel. I'll try to hold the camera as steady as I can and not bounce it around too much. In my other videos, you've seen this 68 Mustang. Now, like I say, it's nothing fancy, nothing spectacular. It's a 68 Mustang, standard, everything. Today's Christmas Eve, the 24th of December. And last night, my wife's family was here for a little get-together. And I love having family. They're great. I love the discussions and stuff. But this Mustang came up in discussion. What am I going to do with it? Am I going to restore it? Am I going to fix it up? Am I going to flip it? What am I going to do with this? And I don't know. It was also brought up, is it worth fixing? Money-wise, is it really worth the money to put into it, the time, energy, to fix one of these up? Now, I'd like to hear back from the rest of you. What do you think? Is it worth fixing up? What we're going to do is kind of give us a little evaluation. I'll move this over to the other lift, put it up in the air, and we'll look at the bottom half. But here's what we have. Like I say, it's a standard Mustang. The fender has obviously had fill put in it. So, to me, the fender's probably got to go. And it's got a big old rot hole down there. So, yeah, a lot of work. The door's not too bad. It has some rust. But, it's very fixable. The quarter definitely needs replaced. There's no way around the quarter. That really needs to be replaced. And if you're seeing that, I'm sure the outer wheel well is going to need replaced. Will the inner one? I'm not sure yet. Haven't checked it out. The trunk lid seems to be solid. It doesn't look like it's a whole lot of damage, but I am seeing cracks in the paint, which is telling me there's probably rust under there. The tail panel definitely is going to need replaced or patched. The underneath part, it's bent, so yeah, that's going to need replaced. The bumper's going to need replaced. Of course, all the little chrome trim's probably going to need replaced. Over here on the other side, quarter again needs replaced. And I'm sure so will that outer wheel well. Like I say, the inners we're not so sure about yet. The door itself is pretty nice. Just a little bit of spot down there. The fender, you can see someone's patched it, put some body filler in there. And I can see cracking up here, which I really think is just in the paint. I don't think that's Bondo. But I don't know. The hood, very savable, but I never really liked the stock hood. I'd like at least have a turning single hood, but it is what it is. The cowl seems to be just fine. The inside doesn't have any water, or the carpet's not wet or anything. And this was sitting outside for about a year beside a barn. So I'm starting to think that cowl may be okay. The roof, 100% solid. Solid. There's nothing to worry about in the roof. Very, very good roof. So I'm thinking I'm going to have to add some prices up in my head, but that's where we are on the outside of the body. The inside, the door panels seem savable. Everything else will probably need reupholstered. Obviously, the front seats do. It does need a new dash pad, obviously. It does need a headliner. This one's pretty well toasted. And you could always clean up the back seats and probably use them, but then they're not going to match the front seats when you recover them. The carpet, actually the carpet looks nice, but I would definitely replace it after all those years. So, the interior basically everything, except for, you can use side panels, you can use the doors. But again, money-wise, is it worth fixing up? Let's take a little better look at the engine area here. Give you some idea on this thing. I did have it running, like I said. See down in here. New solenoid, new starter down there. This doesn't look really, really bad, but right here it looks like there's some filler. So who knows what the heck they've done there. And I can see all the bolts are missing to hold this fender in the top. So that fender needs to come in and back even, which is kind of weird. This side, yeah, I can see some rust. I'm not sure, you know, again, looks like body filler or something put right there. So I'm not sure what their plan was there. Down here on the shock towers, they had put holes in there. And from my understanding, that's so they could grease those Zert fittings. Kind of crazy, but that's what I hear. Down here at the bottom, you can see the aprons. They don't look very good. The frame rails don't look very good, which is typical, big time rust. So the front frame rail would need replaced, and probably the aprons. You know, so I have to put brakes and stuff on it, no master cylinder, anything like that. You know, like I say though, it did run. I'm not sure how the core support is until we get it up in the air, but this is what it is. And I've heard, it isn't worth anything. It's a little 6-cylinder. And I'm told, and I believe it, that in 67, 68, they moved the shock towers out a little bit. So you can actually put a small block Ford or even a big block Ford in here without messing with those shock towers, and it fits, drops right in. I'm also told that if you kept the 3-speed tranny, it will bolt up this small block Ford. I find that kind of like, really? That's pretty cool. But I don't think the rear end would take all that. You know, the transmission might handle it, but the rear end, no, I don't think it will take it. But yeah, there's radiator to be considered, exhaust work. I mean, it'd be a huge project. Like I say, when I got it, some stuff was off from it and I put back on it, like the chrome at the bottom. I reinstalled that, both sides. Tail lights, I put those, or the side markers, I put those in. Did put the lower valance, the bumper, and the other tail light kind of back in it. Put the Mustang letters back on it. Now, just to see what was missing, what's not. Drew the hubcaps on, which are not correct for this Mustang, but they're Ford hubcaps. So let me get this up in the air, and let's take a look at the underneath of it. Like I say, you Ford guys out there, let me hear your thoughts on this. Is it worth messing with? Is it better just to leave it as a 6-cylinder, 3-speed, and enjoy it? Or send it on to someone else that wants to put a Coyote motor in it with a 5-speed and disc brake rear end and, you know, all the crazy stuff. Let me get this on the lift and I'll be back. Thought we should take a look inside the trunk before I put it up in the air all the way. See, there's a little rust there, hole. The inners look pretty good. On this side anyhow, the inner wheel well. This side didn't fare so well as far as the floor. See the spring right there. So that would need replaced. Again, this inner one looks fine. Looks like we wouldn't have to replace it. I see a little rust right there. So I'm sure these in the trunk drop-offs would need to be replaced. I don't know what all's down there, but looks like someone did some patchwork and stuff. A lot of debris. Same thing down there, lots of debris. So I think the inner wheel wells would be okay. So let's get this in the air and check the underneath. That didn't work. I thought before we get it all the way up in the air, we should look inside here. And as you can see, frame rails gone. But we already knew that, didn't we? Torque box, frame rails, not looking good on this side at all. Inside, yeah, you can see the rot. There's a hole. There's a hole. It must have patched over them up above. But, yep. Lower valance looks really savable. So it doesn't look like you have to mess with that one anyway. Oh yeah. Again, frame rail's gone. Pretty bad. Shock tower's gone. Yep, holes up there where they patched them. Yeah, it doesn't look too good inside here, does it? Yep, so you're looking at aprons. Yep, back one's rotted too. A lot of things inside this little hole. See what we can see in the back here. These wheel wells. Yeah, definitely. The outers will need replaced. You can see all that. We already assumed that, right? Yeah. Well, you can see some metal work done in there. Yeah. Wouldn't need the inners though. That's kind of a bonus, right? Not really a bonus on this one. All right, let's get it the rest of the way in the air and check the underneath. Okay, let's take a better look at this. Okay, first of all, we know the frame rails are gone. As you can see, not in good shape at all. Radiator support, yeah, that's rotted. You can see it's not the greatest. And somebody decided, hey, let's hook a chain to it. It's not a good idea. Hook chains to radiator support. This bracket doesn't look too bad. You can see where it's bent. It's bent out. Other bracket, pretty well smashed in. I don't know if that can be pulled, smashed back out, or if it needs replaced. Not sure. Yeah. We're definitely looking at front frame rails at this point, no matter what. I know they sell the whole complete thing. Shock tower's gone, so that's not a good thing. Should take a look at the other side and see what it looks like, but yeah. So let's scroll on over to the other side. Some pretty good rust. A little bit. Might as well decide, change that out if you're going to do the other side, right? Right. Come back down underneath here. As you can see, that frame rail, definitely big hole. Torque box gone. Yeah, it's pretty well gone. The floor support's gone. Definitely. Back half's good, but that'd be silly. Go back over here to the driver's side. Yeah, really bubbling out there for that floor support. Looks like, yeah, that frame, that box, that torque box is gone too. Pretty nice size hole in that thing. Consider that gone. Not sure why someone welded a washer there. That's pretty weird. Huh. Oh well, whatever it was, it was. Floor on the driver's side here. At first glance, doesn't look too bad, but yeah, it's gone, rotted, right along the sides. You can see someone put a patch in here. You see, yeah, you see where it's cut up there. Gonna need floors. Rocker on the outer, got a hole in it right near the front. Might be repairable, but I doubt it. Looking back again at the floors. Driver's side floor is pretty well gone. Let's get back to the torque box. Back torque box looks really nice. It's pretty shocking. Yeah. Torque box isn't bad. Go back up towards front. Checking it out. Wonder where I get all the spiders in my garage from. Now I see where. All the junk cars I pull in here. Go back over here to the passenger side. Check this floor out. This floor don't look too shabby. Some rust. Looks like it's starting to split right there. Up right there. Padding underneath the carpet. Like I said though, you know, the inside carpet's not wet or anything, which is kind of weird. I think that cow would have been leaking water in. Going back towards the back here. Passenger side torque box. Really good shape. Again, I'm surprised. The frame, as you can see, goes up, over, and starts getting rusty right about there. And really gets rusty back here by the shock. Or not the shock, the spring shackle. Tie down strap or whatever they called that. Go across the back here. Brace don't look too bad. See some rust. Come over here to the driver's side. Yeah, that frame rail's gone too. Pretty bad. Not as far as the other one is far up, but looks like the bump stop's pretty well toast. Didn't even check the other bump stop. Rear end looks nice and oiled. It's probably real clean under there. Check out this other bump stop. Yeah, it's pretty well gone too. Get to put a new one of those in. Yeah, so basically you're looking at everything underneath the car. Truck drop off, someone used chrome. Chrome don't get you home. Probably the same piece over here, chrome, yeah. Got a little ridge through it. What the heck the car they took that off from. But so basically you're looking at front frame rails, front radiator support, front towers, front aprons. You're looking at floor supports in the front. You're looking at rear frame rails, at least a portion of them, if they sell partials or if they sell wholes. And you're looking at floors, and you're looking at a little bit of a rocker on this side, unless it's fixable. So basically, cutting everything out and just sticking this body on top of all new. I have to do some number crunching, but from what I've seen, these parts are not expensive, but definitely time consuming to get them frame rails lined up and straight and where they belong. And on the driver's side, you can see they put plate in here. Somebody had welded a plate at one time across the bottom. Yeah. Definitely big gap, this plate. So someone tried to fix it again, but definitely it all needs replaced. Just cut it out and change it over. Yeah, nice. Nice. But everything's fixable. It just comes down to, do you want to save it or not? Or do you want to pass it on, let someone else save it? Or will it end up just becoming parts and scrapped? Who knows? I'll get some more video and be back. When I had bought this car, I was thinking about redoing it or at least fixing it up. First thing was to get it running, which I did. Then I was thinking about parts, what parts cost for these. These are cheap. And I had a friend that had had a 67 Mustang. He was restoring about 5 years ago. And I thought, well, let me give him a text and see what he thinks. I texted him. Well, he had sold his 67 before he finished it. He said it had gone. And he said they're not that bad to work on. And I also said, well, do you have any extra spare parts from it laying around that you didn't let go with the car? You know, that you usually find later on after you get rid of one. And he said, yeah, he's got some parts. He had a set of good doors, no rust, really nice. He says he has a whole bunch of odds and ends, boxes of little odds and ends stuff, but nothing major. And he has a set of 289 heads and some other stuff. And he told me, he says, if you think you can use them or if you think you need them, just come and pick them up. They're free. You know, I need the room in my garage. You can have everything. And I said, well, you know, let's not get ahead of ourselves here. I said, I still haven't decided what I'm going to do. I said, let's wait till after the holidays and I'll make a decision if I'm going to continue on this or not. I said, if I decide to, I'll come over and I'll pick them all up. I really appreciate you offering me those parts for free. He said, not a problem. I'm more than welcome. So I'll wait to hear what some of your comments out there are. I still have a couple more get-togethers with some other family and stuff. I'll get their insight on what they think. The party I had, a little get-together yesterday with family, one comment was, it doesn't look like it's a real challenge to you. I'll be honest with you, there's a lot of metal under this car needs replaced, so that's a pretty big challenge. Make sure you get everything squared where it belongs before you weld it in. One other comment was, you know, it's just a plain Jane Mustang, little 6-cylinder 3-speed. It's not worth anything. You know, they're not bringing any money. You know, you'd really have to spend the money to make it nice. And when in the end, the money and time you put into it, the car's not going to be worth it. I don't know what these things are worth. You know, I had told somebody one time, well, I think what I'm going to do is just put a set of tires on the thing, get the brakes fixed, and drive the damn thing the way it is. But after looking at them frame rails and that and the floors, I really don't want to do that. So, like I keep saying, give me your 2 cents. Don't be afraid to throw down there, hey, that's a piece of junk, what are you doing? Or, hey, that's a classic, you got to fix it up. You know, let me hear from you. I get the views. I see the people are looking at this stuff. Don't be afraid to make a comment. And if you'd like to see me build it, let me know. Build it. You know, I'll spend a year or two building this car, or maybe longer. Some insight, you know. People might like that. People may not. But really, I'd like to hear some opinions out there before I take the final leap and decide what I'm going to do here. If you enjoy my videos, please consider subscribing if you're not already a subscriber. And later.